Okay, all right. Well, welcome everybody. I'm Gretchen Winters. I'm the Director of Marketing for Bursch Travel. We're so happy you're here with us tonight to learn more about Oberammergau. We were just talking about, it's been postponed a year along with the Floriade, so two big events that are every 10 years. So today we have with us Matt Spillner, our account manager with Globus Vacations. And Globus family of brands, because I think they're a variety of ways that you can attend Oberammergau this year with one of their different packages. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Matt. And if you have questions, you can feel free to unmute yourself and jump in or drop something in the chat box. And then at the end, we're going to take any more questions. And then Fred Bursch wants to just share some personal experiences from Oberammergau. So I'll turn it over to you, Matt, and I will mute myself, which everybody loves when I mute myself. So
never. Stop lying, Gretchen. We hate that.
All right.
Well, thanks so much, Gretchen. Thanks everybody at Bursch for having me this evening. It's great to get on here and share this information with you. We're excited because, like Gretchen said, this is a once in every 10-year event. And I think we all have heard the word pandemic more than we ever thought we would in our lifetime, but it's thrown a wrench in everything. And this is just one other thing it's affected during this time. So like Gretchen said, I work closely with Bursch and all their wonderful staff there. So it's great to be with you all and share more about Oberammergau and the options we have for you if you would like to make this a reality and visit this and check it off your bucket list. Gretchen mentioned it too, but I'm with the Globus family of brands. And before I get in here, as I talk about our brands, I just wanted to kind of give everybody a brief overview of what our brands are so that while I'm going through the presentation, you are not looking at each other confused, like I have no idea what he is talking about. So we do have a variety of styles that you can use to travel to Oberammergau and visit the Passion Play and see it for yourself. So the first, Globus. Globus is our first class escorted touring product. So this would be a motor coach tour, and you are going to have your hotels all pre-selected for you. Many of your meals would be included in your package price. Hotels right in the heart of the city. You're going to have the services of a tour director as well while in destination and touring through Germany or whatever country you're in and seeing that Passion Play. Tour director really puts a nice cherry on top of everything, really brings everything to life because many of you, I'm sure, have been to Europe before, but if you see the buildings, they look beautiful, but when a tour director and somebody local there tells you about the history of the sights and the sounds and the restaurants and things that you're seeing, it really, really adds a nice element. So your sightseeing is going to be included with that as well. Globus is going to be the most inclusions of everything. So if you want the most taken care of for you, look at Globus, everything right there taken care of for you. We have Cosmos too, and I just want to mention we only have one Cosmos package here, but Cosmos is our budget brand. So if you are wanting to experience the Passion Play, but maybe want to do it spending a little less money, you're going to do that with Cosmos. Now, Cosmos is the same concept. You're still going to travel with an escorted tour director via motor coach, but you're going to have a few less meals included, a few less sites to see. So there's a little bit more free time with your Cosmos tour and not as many meals included as well, but still a great way to see these destinations and visit the Passion Play if you would like. Now, the other one and a really unique opportunity we actually have a river cruise line. If you have never heard of it before, it's Avalon Waterways. So if you have not river cruised before, it's a wonderful experience. You can hop on board and sail through these wonderful countries over here, Germany, Austria, things like that. We'll look at those coming up, but then also make a stop to the town of Oberammergau and visit the Passion Play. So I just wanted to give a brief overview of our brands there so you know what I'm referring to throughout the presentation. Now, as we mentioned this in the opening here, this is a once in every decade event. So it was scheduled, we know, in 2020, but everything went haywire, unfortunately, during 2020 and was rescheduled to now upcoming here in May of 2022. The play will begin. So Oberammergau, if you're not familiar, it is actually a town, but then they perform the Passion Play for many months during the year that they are running it. So it actually started back in not 19, even older, 1634. So quite old. And how it came to be, the town of Oberammergau was during the Black Plague, and they had a town member bring the plague into their town accidentally. So he became very sick and ended up dying. And legend has it that as other people got the plague and it spread through the town, they made a vow to God that if he spared them from the plague and saved their town, that they would perform this passion play every 10 years. And so legend has it that that happened once they made that vow. They were spared and were saved. The town, they did not experience the death that the rest of the world did. And so they have kept on doing this production then since 1634, when they made this decree to God to save them. Now this one, or in 2022, I should say, the performances are going to run from May 14th through October 2nd of 2022. So just keep that in mind if you are wanting to see the play. We do include some tours that just visit the town, but the actual passion play that you're going to want to see is May 14th to October 2nd of 2022. Now, Fred, maybe even you want to hop in here, but it's a wonderful, quaint little town. And many of the buildings that you're going to come across here in Oberammergau are painted with these frescoes that you see on the buildings. Now there's some biblical scenes you'll notice, some peasant paintings, also classical repetitions, and even fairy tales. So all painted throughout the town here in Oberammergau. Did you notice that, Fred, when you were over there, how unique it is?
Oh, this isn't a big town. It's a relatively small town. And another thing to mention is that the characters are all, residents from the area. And so the play isn't performed every day, as I recall. And, there will be an off day, and you might be standing in a little guest house having a beer, and all of a sudden Jesus Christ walks up next to you and joins you. I mean, it is an amazing experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really beautifully painted town here. So I just wanted to put that out there. And I think you said it perfectly too, Fred. It's not a big town by any means. Very quaint little town, right? Surrounded by the beautiful Alps there, and on the Ammer River too. So really little, small, quaint, beautiful town. You can see here, this is just another depiction of one of the buildings that is painted. This is Little Red Riding Hood. They have painted on one of the buildings here. So looking more at the town here, if you do travel with the Globus family of brands, I do just want to point out some benefits of traveling with us. So we do stay in the actual town. Many other companies, you will stay in the surrounding area, and then you will be bussed in when it's time to go to the production and see the passion play. You will not have to worry about that with the Globus family of brands when you travel with us. We actually, during the duration of the play, so from May through October, we will have an office located in there. Should any issue arise or anything like that, you have assistance right in the town. You don't need to call anybody. We've got somebody actually on site at the hotel too. So speaking of the hotel we use, Fred, did you stay here at the Hotel Bold?
My memory is getting weak after 45 years in the business.
And all the hotels you've stayed in, right?
Right. And I know we stayed in Oberammergau, but I can't remember specific hotels.
Okay. Well, here's the hotel. So again, we do stay right in the heart of Oberammergau. It's a little family-owned hotel here within the town, and it's surrounded again by the Alps and the beautiful Ammer River. So a great little scene here. And what's nice, again, if you're staying outside of the town, you're going to have to be bussed. This hotel is actually an 8-minute walk to the venue. So when it is your time to go see the play, you're just going to take a short little stroll down the sidewalk here to the venue. You don't need to worry about transportation or anything. You will have just a short little walk there, but really, really quaint boutique style hotel here in the town that you're able to stay at. So let's talk about the play a little bit, because I think this is why many of you are on here and the main attraction to see the Passion Play. So we here at the Globus family of brands, we've been in business since 1928, and we have sold the Passion Play since 1950. Now the play itself portrays the Passion of Christ from his entry into Jerusalem until the resurrection. This is crazy to me, Fred, and you can probably attest to this too, but it actually involves over 2,000 actors, singers, and instrumentalists and technicians working along with animals. And you mentioned it, Fred, but you have to be a resident of the village in order to participate. So you can imagine just how much this takes to produce at a successful level, with the whole town essentially, being involved with the production here. So quite an undertaking for the town. And next up, I'm going to say, I tried to audition myself here for the role in 2020, and unfortunately I didn't get it, but I gave it my best shot here. So I thought I fit the part pretty well here. But I even posed with Touchdown Jesus there before the Notre Dame football game and prayed that the Irish would win. But unfortunately, my picture here, it was not picked as the winner. But you can see here, I thought it's a pretty good lookalike, right? I thought I was on the right track. I don't think I could grow the beard enough though. So I got a good laugh out of that. I saw that picture. I'm like, I should have been cast as the lead role here, but had to throw that in here too. But let's look at the venue here. So a cool little venue here. Again, first ever performance here in Oberammergau was 1634. That was actually at a cemetery next to the church. And then the next year they moved it over to this venue where they have held it since. Now the theater itself holds up to 5,000 people. Now behind it too, a beautiful mountain backdrop. So those Alps that I was talking about, that is what is behind the theater, and it's actually an open air theater. So to expand upon what Fred even said too, to take part, you must be a resident of the village of Oberammergau, or have been married to a local for 10 years, or have lived in the town itself for 20 years. And there are no exceptions to that rules. Now they take about 10 months, that's crazy to me, 10 months to rehearse, to prepare to put this production on. And I had all natural hair in that picture. No wigs are allowed. So you can't put it on and do your best and hope you're cast as Jesus in the play. You've got to have all natural, and they actually have to be able to grow those beards too through the play. Those are all natural too. Now, women actually start sewing the costumes more than a year out, and over 2,000 people are involved in the production, whether that be actors or those technicians. But there's only 124 speaking parts, with 21 roles that are double casted. Most on stage at one point is going to be about 1,000 people. And not shockingly, probably the choir and orchestra take the most practice to get up to speed. And until 1990, no women were allowed on stage if they were married or if they were over the age of 35. So just some cool little facts there about the venue that you maybe didn't know. So I love on the screen too, they don't use microphones. So Fred, do you remember, was it hard to hear it all for you?
I think the acoustics were pretty good. And, the performance is in German, obviously.
Right.
And so, I'm not fluent in German. I understand a few words that I can use in a bar, and that's about it. But we all know the story.
Right.
And the classical music, it is just fantastic. It's like attending a great concert. And as I recall, I don't know if it's changed in the last 20 years, but they took about a 3-hour break at lunch
Yep.
So that people can go back and rest and eat in the hotels, but also because it's an outdoor venue, you know, a lot of people come with blankets to throw over their lap if it's a cool day. But
yep.
The overall experience, I think, is very moving. Whether you understand German, you can appreciate the good music. It's just amazing that these amateur performers can put this on.
Yeah, I mean, no specially trained or anything, just like sign up and I'm going to put it on and, you know, rehearse for many months. But yeah, and I think that's pretty telling, Fred, about the play itself, that it can attract, you know, these tourists from all over the world who don't speak this language, but like you said, know the story, you know, of Jesus Christ and can follow that along. And it is that 8-hour production with, like you said, that 3-hour, you know, dinner break. So you can go have some food in between and come back and finish it off. Now, if you're worried too, you know, about inclement weather or something like that, you can see there, the venue does have a retractable cover in the event that it was raining or something like that. So you wouldn't have to sit there in the rain. And then again, it is close to those shops and restaurants. So during that break, you can head out to get a bite to eat and then come back after that intermission to go ahead and finish out the rest of the performance. But looking at the seating chart here, I think this is another great feature. So when you book with the Globus family of brands, you are going to be seated in category 1. So you can see that's the best place to be seated. It's going to give you the best experience, and you don't have to worry about securing those on your own. That's going to be part of your package price and included. So when you go to your Bursch travel advisor and say, you know what, I want to sign up, I've always been thinking of it, I want to do it with Globus, your ticket to the performance is already taken care of. Pretty neat, if you ask me. So you are prime time right there, up close and personal with the performers. So I talked in the beginning, we have a variety of travel styles. We have 16 itineraries that you can take that visit the Passion Play as part of the stops on the tour. You can do a river cruise if you want to do that, we mentioned with Avalon Waterways, or you can do a land tour with either Globus or Cosmos. But I want to start by mentioning the options you have available with Avalon first. So you can see here the 3 options. We have 1 Danube itinerary, and then we have 2 romantic Rhine itineraries. So I'll show you the Danube and then one of the Rhine itineraries, just so you can kind of get a sense of what you're going to be doing outside of Oberammergau, because I think that's what's great is you can combine it, see the surrounding area, but also cross this play off your bucket list as well. Fred, did you do a tour and do the surrounding area, or did you go in just for the play?
No, we did. We included it as part of a Germany tour.
Okay, perfect, which is really, really popular. So you can see here, the option here with the Danube Dreams. This is a 12-day cruise from Budapest and then ending in Munich, Germany. It's going to be a 7-night cruise, and you're going to start in Hungary, go through Austria, and then again end in Germany with a little stop there in Bratislava, Slovakia. Really cool. And then at the end, post-cruise, you're going to spend 2 nights in Innsbruck, 1 night in Oberammergau, and ending with that final night there in Munich. But what I love about the river cruises too is maybe you're somebody who doesn't want the pace maybe of a land tour, say, but a river cruise, you're just going to hop on once. You're gonna unpack your suitcase in the room. You don't have to worry about getting it from hotel to hotel. A really, really great experience. Your meals are going to be included when you travel on Avalon Waterways, and then regional beer and wine are included with lunch and dinner, and sparkling wine is included with breakfast as well. So if you're looking for, I say, a little more of that all-inclusive experience and also want to see some of that surrounding area, this is a great, great way to experience with a river cruise. And Fred, I'm sure you've gotten to visit a lot of these towns too yourself, right?
Oh yeah, and you know the nice thing is that you know Oberammergau is relatively close to Munich, and so to be able to go from Oberammergau then into Munich at the end, and convenient flights from Munich back to the United States makes it a really good jumping off place.
Great point, yeah. And if you're not familiar with Avalon Waterways, I just want to add, you can certainly, check with your Bursch advisor. They are up to speed on our product because we're great partners. But we have a panorama suite. So in Europe, it's a 200 square foot room, and it is 11 foot wide by 7 feet tall, wall to wall, floor to ceiling window. It opens in 3 panes, so it slides open into one pane into another, a full 7 feet wide. And we have angled our bed to face that view. So if you were wanting to take a nap or just explore or stay in your stateroom, whatever it may be, you can open your curtains, you can open the window, and the beauty of Europe is just outside your windows as you sail the beautiful Danube in this case. But check that out, a wonderful, wonderful experience aboard Avalon Waterways. Now, this is another itinerary we offer here. This is the Romantic Rhine, and this is going to be a 12-day total vacation from Munich to Amsterdam is where you'll end up. This one would be a 7-night cruise from Amsterdam down to Basel, and then staying with this one, I like 2 nights in the town of Oberammergau, 1 night in Munich, and then 1 night in Innsbruck too. So just wanted to point that out. And I think what's pretty spectacular too with the river cruise itineraries, look how many cities you get to visit as part of one vacation. And a lot of times, some of these smaller cities is not something you're going to visit on a land tour, but here you're going to have these unique ports that you're going to be able to visit on your Oberammergau vacation. So really, really cool opportunity there. So again, if you'd like any more information, certainly reach out to your Bursch travel advisor because they would be more than happy to give that information to you. Now, let's talk about our land tours here. We do have 9 itineraries that we offer for Globus. Again, most inclusions with the Globus brand, and you're going to be staying at deluxe first class hotels with the most amenities right in the heart of these cities. Now, of course, I'm not going to go through 9 of them, but I just wanted to show you these to pique your interest so you can kind of get a feel for what is out there. And let's dive into these 3 and kind of take a deeper dive and see what they're all about. We have the German Vista with Oberammergau. You can see there, it's a really unique opportunity to overnight in a great little city of Rotenberg. Have you been to Rotenberg, Fred?
Yes, fabulous.
It's so cool. That's on my list to get to visit. That one has a night in Oberammergau, and then there is a farewell dinner at Biergarten in Munich. We also have Bavarian highlights with Oberammergau. That one is a visit to Neuschwanstein Castle as part of that itinerary. And then you get to taste the smoked beer in Bamberg, which is a really cool, unique local beer that they brew right there. And then that one has 1 night in Oberammergau. And then the other one we will talk about is our German highlights with Oberammergau. You're going to get to visit Cologne as part of this itinerary. Cool opportunity on this one too, a short little cruise on the Rhine through that gorge and see all the castles through that area. 2 nights on this itinerary with Oberammergau, and then get to taste some traditional bratwurst too. You can't go to Germany without tasting the bratwurst, the sausage, all the pretzels, and all the good food that region has to offer. So let's dive in here first with our German Vista with Oberammergau tour. Looking here, this is just a map so you can kind of get a lay of the land and what you would be doing if you were to take this tour to Oberammergau and see the Passion Play. You can see in Berlin, this is where you're going to start with 2 nights, flying in there with a welcome dinner. You're going to do some guided sightseeing. You're going to see a memorial church, and then stop at the Brandenburg Gate as well as a Holocaust memorial there. In Dresden, there's guided sightseeing, and you're going to get to see the Zwinger Palace Courtyard, which you'll see coming up a picture on the next slide. Weimar is just a stop. There's not an overnight there, so you'll just have a stop and have a guided tour through the city. Rothenburg, a great little medieval town. You'll have some time to explore there. Of course, visit the Passion Play. And then, like Fred mentioned, not too far from Oberammergau is the town of Munich. So you'll end in Munich with, again, guided tour of the town because it's magnificent there. And then that is where you'll have your farewell dinner in a beer garden there at that local restaurant. So let's take a look at some of the sites you'll see here. So this is the Zwinger Palace Courtyard here in Dresden. Again, great opportunity for you to travel with this tour director, because you're not just going to see these places, these sites, these sounds of the town. They're brought to life with the stories that your tour director and local guides are going to be telling you. So you don't have to try to research and figure out, what was the importance or why does this matter that I'm seeing. That is built in with your tour director, and it really puts the cherry on top of your vacation, and it's a wonderful experience. I know, Fred, all the escorted tours you've done, you can attest that it really brings the vacation and the sites to life.
It's like attending a college history seminar, but there's no test at the end.
Right. Yeah. I'm a 7-8 tour. Now tell me everything you learned. You just couldn't simply do it. I mean, these men and women are like human encyclopedias. I absolutely love traveling with us for that reason, to just hear from them and their stories. Many of them grew up in these destinations, so they're near and dear to their heart. It's a really cool experience. Now, here's a little town of Rotenberg. So again, this is an overnight stay here. Beautiful towers and these cobblestone lanes, as you can see from these pictures. 16th century houses, just so historic in this town, and learning how they survived through the war. And then you can do some souvenir shopping. They have some wonderful Christmas ornaments in this town. Did you snag any Christmas ornaments, Fred?
I didn't buy Christmas ornaments, but but Rotenberg is considered, it's the most romantic city in Germany, and they also have the night watchman who goes out every night at 9 o'clock and walks through the city and lights all the gas lamps, and so that's a special memory.
Wow, that's cool. I didn't know that. That's awesome. I mean, you don't see that here, right, at home. So,
no.
soaking it up. Maybe you have it up in Alexandria, but we don't have it down here in Minneapolis. So I'll have to work on that one. But another visit to a highlight here is the Neuschwanstein Castle. So the hotel we stay at is actually very close to Neuschwanstein Castle, and you are going to have a local guide take you through the castle and tell you all about its history and its significance. Cool little thing, because I didn't know this one. This castle actually inspired Walt Disney's Sleeping Beauty castle. So that's right, where it came from. So a cool little piece there. I mean, just looking at it, it looks magnificent, right? And to be inside and have it be real life, you have an opportunity as part of this itinerary here. Now, you already know this, but the next stop on the tour would be going to the Passion Play in the town of Oberammergau. And then this one ends again in the beautiful town of Munich. Look at this. I mean, the Gothic architecture here, it is magnificent. Centuries old buildings, of course, throughout Munich and so many places throughout Europe here. And then Munich, known for Oktoberfest, and then its beer halls, including the world famous Hofbrauhaus. If you've ever heard of that, that is where it started here in Munich. Freda, you've seen it up close. I mean, this looks spectacular here.
Been to Munich many times. In fact, my sister-in-law is from Germany, and he and my brother and sister-in-law got engaged in Munich, and we had the whole family there in a beer hall as they announced their engagement. Yeah, that was a great experience.
So Munich is definitely on your list. You'll never forget that one.
And Munich is famous for the clock tower in the square. I think we can see it in the picture there.
Right. Yep. Beautiful, beautiful town. So that's that itinerary. Next up, we have Bavarian highlights with Oberammergau. So as you can imagine, this one is going to stay within Germany. So if you kind of want to get hands-on with Germany, this would be a great option for you here. This one is going to start and end in Munich. So it's going to be round trip Munich. Again, there's going to be a welcome dinner in Munich as well as guided sightseeing, and then a special farewell dinner in the town as well. Bayreuth here, you're going to have an orientation tour here and learn about the city. Bamberg, again, famous for their smoked beer. and you're going to have a guided walking tour of the town and an opportunity to sample some of that smoked beer. And Rotenberg, this one stops as well. Stuttgart, and you can visit the Mercedes-Benz Museum, which actually we use Mercedes-Benz vehicles over in Europe for our motor coaches. And one of the first motor coaches we had was a Mercedes-Benz. It was not a modern day motor coach, but it's actually on display there in Stuttgart at the Mercedes-Benz Museum. So a cool opportunity there. Many people have this on their list as well to see when in Germany, the Black Forest. So you're going to have an opportunity there. We talked about it in the other itinerary that we just covered, but the Neuschwanstein Castle, you have an opportunity here to visit as well. And then the Passion Play, of course. This one too.
Matt, let me just jump in. If you go back to the previous slide.
You bet.
So when people are looking at itineraries and maps, just you'll note that on a number of the cities, it'll say 1 or 2. That's the number of nights that you're spending in those cities. So
exactly.
It makes it easy to get a real easy synopsis of the tour and how fast paced it is by counting how many cities you visit and how many nights are 1 or 2 nights.
Yeah, great point, Fred, there. So sorry that I missed that, but two, the green is the starting city, the red is the ending. This one again is round trip Munich. If it does not have that number in it, that just means it's a stop along the way. So while you are driving that day, you're gonna make a stop in that town, take in its scenery and things like that, and then continue on. Like you can see on this itinerary, Stuttgart and both Rotenberg, they're like that, as well as Lake Constance. So just wanted to point that out. But great point, Fred, because you really do get a feel for, how on the move am I going to be? Is this more leisurely or is it more fast paced? So a great point there. Now, this tour, again, is going to stop in Regensburg. So here you're going to meet a local guide for a walking tour of the city, which this town features the stone bridge, and it's the oldest preserved bridge of its kind throughout Germany. Really, really cool here. In Regensburg too, you're gonna visit St. Peter's Cathedral. So cool opportunity. I mean, these cities in Europe are just steeped in history. You can't believe it until you're there. It's just magnificent. And then this tour continues on to Nuremberg. Nuremberg holds a lot of significance in the history of Germany, the Nuremberg trials, but today known for its children's toys, as well as gingerbread. So you'll be able to sample some gingerbread there.
I had a client from Glenwood, Minnesota that was a war bride. She married an Army GI, and she spent 6 months in Glenwood, and then she'd go back every year to Nuremberg. And when she would come back from Nuremberg, she would bring me the gingerbread cookie, which is unusual. It's unlike any gingerbread you'll have anywhere else. And they sell them in these little nice, highly painted, decorated tin cans with, 6 cookies in a can. And you've got to bring that as a souvenir. They just are fabulous taste. And the can is a fun thing to have on your desk or a shelf at home to hold other items once the cookies are gone.
Sounds delicious. Yum. So when you take this tour, listen to Fred and buy those gingerbread and bring them home for souvenirs. But continuing here too with Bamberg, cool little town here. I love this. It's actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site. I didn't know that, but some cool little fact there. Again, home of the smoked beer, which Fred did you try the smoked beer? Have you visited
I haven't
Bamberg?
had that. No.
Okay. I'm not a big beer person myself, but people say it's really unique and they love it. So they put a smoke flavor in it by using a malted barley dried over an open flame. So really interesting how they make it there, but that's unique to Bamberg. And then here in the town of Bamberg on this tour, you're gonna have a guided walk along its cobblestone streets and take in, as you can see, all these cute little houses and all the architecture that's unique to the town of Bamberg here. So that's some of the uniqueness with that tour. The last one we'll talk about here is German highlights with Oberammergau. This one you can see it's a little bit longer, and it's a 12-day trip, round trip. So starting and ending in Frankfurt then. So you see you'll have some overnight in Cologne, you'll have an overnight in the Black Forest, 2 nights in Oberammergau, 2 nights in Berlin, so quite a bit. And this is a unique opportunity too. You're gonna have an opportunity to ride the train on this tour from Cologne going to Berlin. And then also that Rhine River cruise as well to see some of the castles that this area has to offer. So Frankfurt, again, that welcome dinner, as well as your farewell dinner will be there. And then special to this itinerary is that Rhine cruise. So you get to experience a little bit of the river there. Cologne, I think everybody knows probably Cologne for its beautiful cathedral. So of course you'll get to visit that and then enjoy some beer at a local restaurant. In Berlin, you'll have some guided sightseeing, take in all the importance that those sites have to offer. This one also visits Nuremberg, Munich. You'll get to do the Passion Play, of course, the Black Forest, and then Heidelberg as well, a walking tour of there. So let's look at some of the pictures here. The Cologne Cathedral, again, wonderful, wonderful opportunity in Cologne here to see the cathedral and then take that Rhine cruise. Right there, that stretch of the Rhine is the most scenic section. So those castles are abound. Everywhere you look, you'll see those castles, the terraced vineyards, and those beautiful wine towns. Fred, I'm sure you've gone through the Rhine Gorge many times and can attest how breathtaking it is each time you do it to see the castles there on the banks and the hills of the river.
Oh, it's great to be sitting on the observation deck of the riverboat and having a nice glass of German white Rhine wine.
Yeah, sign me up. After being stuck at home for 18 months, Fred, I'm ready to go. So I'm ready to go tomorrow. You come stay at my house tonight. We'll catch our flight tomorrow. But the cathedral here too, I mean, it's so impressive. It's actually 15-foot twin towers that you see here. So it looks big from pictures, but even more impressive when you are there in person taking it in. And then going from Cologne to Berlin, again, a unique opportunity. Have you done the train?
Yes, Fred? Yeah, okay. That's great.
So you're gonna take the ice train from Cologne into Berlin, the capital city of reunited Germany. And again, sightseeing in this beautiful town. There's so much that I could tell you, but you're gonna experience it for yourself when you sign up for this wonderful, wonderful tour.
You know, the train is just amazing, especially coming from the United States where we don't do much train travel. And if you do, it's at, 50 miles an hour. These trains are 180 miles an hour and you hardly feel anything.
Right.
The rails are welded together and ground down, so you don't have the crickety clack of every different seam and as one rail joins another, and it's just so smooth to sit back and relax. I really prefer taking the train within Europe.
Yeah, they definitely have it figured out. Train is the way to go over there, and they make it easy to do it. It's a great way to get around through the various countries over there. So arriving into Berlin, and this is actually unique with a Globus tour. Typically, when you're looking at the day-by-day itinerary, you're going to see, go, 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 go. Well, when you arrive in Berlin, you actually have a full day at leisure. And we have an app. So if you want to get directions from the app, it's actually augmented reality. So you don't need GPS, or you don't need your data signals, and you don't need Wi-Fi. It's just built in. So if you want to do that, or if you want recommendations from your tour director on things to go and visit or restaurants to visit, you've got the expertise of your tour director right there. The Black Forest, I want to visit this area so bad, but you're going to visit this area and stay overnight in the Black Forest. And I love this because unique to this area, wood carving. We actually take our guests to a wood carving demonstration. And of course, you can't visit this region without tasting the coffee and the Black Forest cake. So we'll make sure you get to experience that as part of your visit to the Black Forest. And then look at this one too. This is pretty awe-inspiring. Heidelberg Castle in, shocking, the town of Heidelberg, which is actually Germany's oldest university town. So you're going to have some time to stroll around the old town here and then take the funicular car up the hill to see the red-walled castle right here and see the Great Vat, which is a 58,000 gallon 18th century wine tank, essentially. How amazing is that? And Fred, I'm sure you've seen the vat for yourself. How impressive was it?
That's pretty good.
58,000 is a wine. I think after 18 months in the travel industry, Fred, I think we might go through that ourselves if we took a tour, right? Take it up the hill and let us loose. So that's that tour. Now, I'm not going to go through these itineraries, but I did want to mention this because this is a really cool opportunity as well. For those of you who may have a deep interest in a faith or practicing or just an interest in a faith, we do have some religious tours that we have to offer as well. So this is under our faith-based tours. We have the 3 globus you can see on the left-hand side with the Catholic Central Europe, as well as the Grand Catholic Italy, and then the shrines of Alpine Europe. And then with Cosmos, we have the European Reformation. So if you're interested in those, again, reach out to your travel advisor there with Bursch Travel. So if you are interested in traveling to Oberammergau and you're saying, what is this going to cost? Your advisor can go over the full package price with you. They would be happy to get that information for you. But I wanted to let you know that it's only a $600 deposit per person, non-refundable at this time if you want to lock in and secure your space. And on the flip side, there's been a lot of awful things that came with the pandemic, but this is one of the positives, and we'll focus on those, that in 2020, our allotment for the Passion Play was actually sold out. So we did not have any space available. Well, with the cancellations and such, we do have some space available. So typically this space is sold out many years in advance. Here's a unique opportunity. If you've had it on your list, you now can take advantage and travel there anywhere from May of 2022 through October 2022 and take that in for yourself. So Fred, if you have anything else to add, or Gretchen, if you want to hop in here and let us know what came in through the question box, I'd be happy to spend a few minutes going over anything and putting a nice big bow on our fun evening here.
I just want to reiterate that, typically the Oberammergau Passion Play does sell out a couple of years in advance. Mm-hmm. And obviously with the 2 years since it was originally scheduled, a lot of people have rebooked already. Right. And so space on specific tours might be limited. And so it's not possible for us to book a big group and have a Bursch Travel escorted experience, but we do offer, the individual itineraries. So, if you and a couple other friends want to get together, we can look for an itinerary that has space available for smaller groups.
Absolutely. Great little endorsement there, Fred, too. And one other thing I forgot to mention too, and in case any of you are wondering, because I get this question a lot in my daily role here, is, what if I travel and at the time COVID testing is still required for my return into the US? Well, this is great about traveling with the Globus family of brands as well. We actually are covering the cost for return testing if that's still a condition for your travels to return to the US. So you don't need to worry about, trying to find a pharmacy or trying to find a local doctor while in destination and have to worry about that piece at the end of your vacation. We have that covered. So in some cases, we will take you to a pharmacy. I have a group that just returned from Italy. The doctor actually came to their hotel. So we take the stress out of traveling. Everything is already in a nice little package for you. You go to your Bursch Travel Advisor, you put that deposit down. That is the bow on top of your present. And the hardest part for you is choosing which amazing itinerary that you are going to do to take in the Passion Play in 2022. So reach out to your travel advisor. I can't say enough about Bursch Travel and our relationship with them. All of their travel advisors are so knowledgeable on our product, and they would be more than happy to answer any questions. So please, please, please reach out to them if you do have an interest in Fred's like Fred said, it's harder to find some of that big group space. So there's not going to be that. But if you want to go with some friends or family after all this, you certainly deserve it. So we would love to take you along for an experience of a lifetime.
Hey, and Matt, it's Gretchen. I'm going to jump in here about reaching out to your Bursch Travel Advisor.
Yeah.
If you are working with one of your advisors, you can certainly email them or just call the office location and set up a time, maybe set up an appointment to come in and visit about some of the different options, look at the different packages that Globus or Avalon offer. If you are new to Bursch Travel, excuse me, you can certainly go to our website, burschtravel.com, go to locations and find a location that's near where you live. And on that page, there's also a form you can fill out. If you're interested in finding out more information, we'll get you connected with one of the advisors that can help you. So you just call, email, or check us out on the website. And I know some people had some trouble, came in and then they got dropped and booted out. I'm sorry about that. But rest assured, we did record this. So if you have friends that might be interested that you want to share this information with, we'll get it up on our website. It'll be under our travel seminars. There'll be a link there that you can click on and to the entire webinar. Like I said, if you have friends that you think would be interested, tell them to go to the website and listen to it and kind of get your plans together and then visit with one of our advisors to get that book before the space is gone.
Yes, book before it's gone. Great advice, Gretchen.
And I don't see any questions in the chat box. If anybody has a question, you can throw it in there. Or I could unmute yourself if you have a question. We just muted everybody and turned the video off because it helps the connection a little bit better. But if you have a question, feel free to unmute or, like I said, reach out to your Bursch Travel Advisor and they can do some more investigating for you.
Yes.
All right, anything else, Fred? Or?
No, I don't think so. I think you've covered it a lot. I just would say that, I've been lucky to attend it twice in my 45 years in business, and both times it was just very moving experiences, just unlike anything I've ever done elsewhere, and it really is a trip of a lifetime.
Yeah, don't wait. I think the pandemic has taught us anything, right? Don't put off those travel plans any further, because you never know what could impact those or impede those plans. So travel when you're able.
Matt, I do have one question. Since they had to postpone this by 1 year, will the next one take place in 9 years? Will they get back on the schedule? Do you know? Or will it be 10 years starting from 2022?
I believe it will go back to the normal schedule, from my understanding, because they run it in years ending with 0. So I believe that they'll go back to 2030 and then continue it. Yeah, like they have.
I thought it maybe took them 10 years to grow the hair back.
Make those dresses. Those actresses have to make their dresses.
No kidding. Well, get to work.
Yeah. Well, I think that I don't see any questions. Thank you so much, Matt. That was fantastic. Always love hearing from you. And I'm ready to sign up. So I got to go call my Bursch Travel Advisor and get this booked.
You do it. Well, and just a big thank you to everybody for tuning in. I know you have a plethora of things that you can do with your evening, and from Fred to Lee to Gretchen. Thank you for everybody at Bursch Travel for your wonderful partnership and taking care of your clients. You guys are tremendous.
All right.
All right. Good night.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks. Bye-bye.